This is an intro I am filming for the text messages that were leaked by the government. Just a read through of all of the messages. Nothing too detailed or anything. I will be linking videos below in the description about, videos from the Atlantic, other stuff talking about it, a video specifically from the Atlantic, and then a video that I will be linking to Legal Eagle, where he breaks down the case law of stuff that they could be, charged for the wrongdoings, because obviously, this stuff is not okay. Our leaders of the military should not be texting about this stuff in such a way and on such an app that is not cleared by the government to actually, say those things. So, just read through of the messages that were said. I also have links in my YouTube bio, as well as I'll link in the description. But I have a link tree of different petitions you can sign. Contact your representatives. Talk to them. This intro is filmed a week later. This is April 2nd I'm filming this intro, so yes. And then these videos should go up probably sometime tonight or tomorrow, or maybe sometime this weekend. I am also moving, so hopefully these videos go up within that time. So actually, here is said text message from Pete Hegseth. You can literally see it right there. Team update, time now 11:44 Eastern Time. Weather is favorable, just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are go for a mission launch. 12:15 Eastern Time. F-18's launch, first strike package. 13:45. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. 14:10, more F-18s launch, second strike package. 4:15, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. 15:36, F-18 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawk launched. So if anyone is confused, let me just can pause to read. It's not that difficult. The English language, if we speak it, shouldn't be too hard, but just saying this for the people who won't believe it. If, I'm sure that this is not the most concerning thing to you if you do not speak English, because there are other things that this disgusting administration is already doing to you. So, but I'm just a crazy liberal. Oh my god. There's some more text messages that I happened to find from the government that were leaked. So I wanted to read those out for the class. Okay, so we're literally gonna just read every single word. This was in the order that it's saved from the video I saw from Brute on TikTok. And then obviously you're gonna see the source on every single slide. So, yes, and then also, if you would like to see the tag, there it is. Houthi PC small group, 19 members. This was about, I believe this was March 14th, and then the messages were just leaked, right? So Michael Waltz, team establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy Alex Wong is pulling together a Tiger team at deputies/agency chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and will be sending that out later this evening. Please provide the best staff POC from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple days, over the weekend. Thanks. MAR, Mike Needham for state. JD Vance, Andy Baker for VP, TG, Joe Kent for DNI, Scott B, Dan Katz for Treasury, Pete Hegseth, Dan Caldwell for DOD, Brian McCormick for NSC, Michael Waltz, team, you should have a statement of conclusions with taskings per the president's guidance this morning in your high side inboxes. State and DoD, we developed suggested notification lists for regional allies and partners. Joint staff is setting this AM a more specific sequence of events in the coming days, and we will work with DoD to ensure COS, OVP, and POTUS are briefed. Do we know what POTUS is? POTUS stands for President of the United States. There you go. And then here we have a message from JD Vance. Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. 40% of European trade does. There's a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary. The strongest reason to do this is, as POTUS said, remember, President of the United States said to send a message, but I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. Pay attention. I'm willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself, but there is a strong argument for delaying this a month. Doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc. Again, JD Vance. With Joe Kent, there's nothing time-sensitive driving this timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month. The Israelis will likely take strikes and therefore ask us for more support to replenish whatever they use against the Houthis, but that's a minor factor. I will send you the unclassed data we pulled on BAM shipping. John Ratcliffe, from CIA perspective, we are mobilizing assets to support now, but a delay would not negatively impact us. An additional time would be used to identify better starting points for coverage on Houthi leadership. From Pete Hegseth, VP, this is to JD Vance. I understand your concerns and fully support you raising with POTUS, President of the United States, remember. Important considerations, most of which are tough to know how they play out: economy, Ukraine, peace, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on 1, Biden failed, and 2, Iran funded. Waiting a few weeks or a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. 2, immediate risks on waiting. 1, this leaks, and 1, we look indecisive. 2, Israel takes on action first, or Gaza ceasefire falls apart, and we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. Let y'all think about that paragraph right there. If this leaks, well, Pete, it did. I'm reading it right now. We are prepared to execute, and if I had final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. This is not about the Houthis. I see it as 2 things. 1, restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and 2, reestablish deterrence, which Biden cratered. And then I'm sure this is the rest of the message, but we can easily pause, and if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC. I welcome other thoughts. Michael Waltz. The trade figures we have are 15% of global and 30% of container. It's difficult to break that down to U.S. specific because much of the container either going through the Red Sea still or around the Cape of Good Hope, our components going to Europe that turns into manufactured good for transatlantic trade into the U.S. Whether we pull the plug or not today, European navies do not have the capability to defend against the types of sophisticated anti-ship cruise missiles and drones the Houthis are now using. Whether it's now or several weeks from now, it will have to be the United States that reopens these shipping lanes. Per the President's request, we are working with DoD and state to determine how to compile the cost associated and levy them on the Europeans. Another message from Michael Waltz. As we stated in the first PC, we have a fundamental decision of allowing the sea lanes to remain closed or to reopen them now or later. We are the only ones with the capability, unfortunately. From a messaging standpoint, we absolutely add this to of horribles on why the Europeans must invest in their defense. JD Vance, at Pete Hegseth. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here, and if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. Here's another message from Pete Hegseth. But yeah, the stuff that, it's crazy. They're like, oh, if this leaks, well, hi. I'm not in the government. From Pete Hegseth here, VP to Vice President JD Vance. Vice President, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. If Mike is correct, we are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is a good time as any given POTUS, President of the United States. Remember, directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. SM. Now, SM hasn't been determined, and I will link the video separately from The Atlantic themselves, because they actually kind of explain their thoughts of who that is, because their initials is just SM. And then I'll also, at the end of these screenshots, I will have, it was the screenshot of the list of people in the group chat. SM, as I heard it, the president was clear, green light, but we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement, e.g. if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. Pete Hegseth, agree. And then this screenshot I actually read on my page a couple days ago. This was the first screenshot I had seen. Right here is where that screenshot ends, so I don't want to reread this because I already did this. And then I think this is the rest of the message. More to follow per timeline. We are currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors. JD Vance, I will say a prayer for victory. Michael Waltz, Vice President, building collapsed, had multiple positive ID. Pete Carilla, the IC, amazing job. JD Vance, what? Michael Waltz, typing too fast, the first target, their top missile guy, we had positive ID of him walking into his girlfriend's building, and it's now collapsed. JD Vance, excellent. MAR, good job, Pete and your team. Michael Waltz, the team in MAL, did a good job as well. SM, great work all, powerful start. Pete Hegseth, CENTCOM was/is on point. Great job all. More strikes ongoing for hours tonight, and will provide full initial report tomorrow, but on time, on target, and good readouts so far. Susie Wiles, kudos to all, most particularly those in theater and CENTCOM. Really great, God bless. 2 praying emojis, the muscle emoji, and then 2 American flag emojis. TG, great work and effects. And then that's the end of the messages. This is, you'll see the name of the chat, all of this, and then this is the reporter. This is Michael Waltz, Scott B., Walker Barrett, Brian, Pete Hegseth, Jacob, Dan Katz, Joe Kent, SMMAR twice, Mike Needham, John Ratcliffe, Susie Weil, TG, JD Vance, Steve Witkoff, Alex Wong. And just to say, here's the source I got it from, Brute America on TikTok, and then there's their source, The Atlantic. Let me just... Right here. There's a link tree in my bio for petitions to sign. Please go sign them.
I'm immediately withdrawing from the unfair one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff.
Fantastic things could be done with guys.
Why don't you get it? Can't you get it? Understand? We're gonna execute the mother to elevate the man.
We can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead. By the way, most of them are dead.